Okay, so first I want to cover a few things. First we'll go through the family tree, and then we'll meet the current family that's in the household. So as you can see, Riley's family tree has gotten really, really big, and not all of them are loaded in yet. So I decided to mark all of my moved out Sims as unplayed households. So like their mother, they've begun to multiply. As you can see, we've had quite a lot of deaths. In fact, for about a whole Sim month, the entire current family has just been miserable, which is really tough for the challenge because it makes it so much harder to get Riley in a flirty mood. So, as you can see, the top row are all of Riley's children. The second row is grandchildren, and we've actually started getting great grandchildren. So it's pretty cool. We've got almost, I think, over 70 when you add the children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren all together. But like you can see, over half of them have passed on now. And Riley's not far behind. So, let's go back to the current family. Riley has aged up into an elder quite a few days ago now, but she is an elder. Her reign of matriarchy has come to an end. In total, she had 52 children, and like I said, her total, when you add up grandchildren and everything like that, has come to 72. So I wanted Riley to have 50 children and then pass the matriarchy over to the 50th child, but the 50th child was a boy, so we had to have more. And technically Riley could have had a few more children. There were open spaces in the household, but if that child had been a girl, then it would have had to have been the matriarchy, and I'd already started preparations with our future matriarchy, Natasha. So my goal in this is to have Natasha max out a lot of her skills, A, before Riley dies, and B, before she becomes the matriarch. So you can see we've been focusing on a few skills, and she's already got 4 maxed out, but there's a whole lot of skills that Riley has completely maxed out that she hasn't even started in. So like cooking will need to be 1, charisma needs to be 1, fitness, definitely the gardening, because she's going to have to be able to take care of all of this, and if you're not almost maxed out in gardening, taking care of this takes hours. So there's a few things that I need Riley to teach Natasha before she passes on, and I need Natasha to max out. So another thing that I've been doing differently is I've had 2 Sims that have aged up and are technically could be moved out if I want to stay in the household. So for a while it was a couple of the other kids, but now it's Fitzsimmons. So I choose 2 kids who show a lot of promise in taking care of their younger siblings, and they stay in the house. The reasons I do this is, 1, it helps keep the number of toddlers down to at only 4, because that's the max we can have, or 5, I'm sorry. So we can only have 5 toddlers in the house at one time, so that helps keeps the toddler number down. And 2, it helps everybody age up a whole lot faster, because these guys are here and they can't make money to bring in money for the household. They help raise the kids with Riley. It also helps Riley be able to go and write books and do the gardening, because these 2 can work on taking care of the children while she's doing that kind of stuff. So once Natasha starts having kids, we'll do the same thing. I'll leave 1 or 2 who show promise in helping with the younger kids here so that they can help us with the challenge and to keep the babies down. But if you saw when I hovered over Fitz and Gemma are elders. So they'll be passing on soon too. I think Riley will probably go first, because I think Riley will go first, but Gemma and Fitz are going to soon follow too. Hopefully, Gemma and Fitz will be here to help Natasha with the first few of the kids, even though Riley's probably going to be gone. So, It's the same thing for the new matriarch. She's got to be on an A grade. She has to, in order to age up. She's almost there. She's a B. However, I'm probably going to keep her in the once she ages up. I don't know if we'll jump straight into the baby making or if we'll give her a few days to get into some skills to get the skills up. Because like I said, it's really helpful to have her cooking up to level 10, her charisma up to level 10. So we might take the first few days of her young adulthood actually gaining skills instead of going out and meeting men and starting the challenge. So Natasha needs 48 kids in order to complete the challenge completely, and my goal is to complete it in 2 sims. So we have Riley, who is an elder and ready to pass on everything. We have Gemma here, who's helping Clint with his homework. We have Fitz helping Natasha with her homework. Natasha, which she'll be our new matriarch, and I'll show you her outfits and what she looked like in a minute. And we have Clint, her twin. For those of you who like the Avengers and stuff like that, that's where these guys come from. Oh, I've just realized that our thing out here has been struck by lightning. That's great. That's where they come from. That's what their appearances are kind of leaned towards. Clint's got the blonde hair. He's kind of got a bandage over his nose, that kind of stuff. Natasha, of course, has the red hair. So let's go into Create a Sim, and I will show you the new matriarch in there. So as you can see, her traits over here, I've already went ahead and given her the 100 baby challenge because that's what we're going to be using that's what I'm using to keep track of the babies. So that was not randomly generated, but the other traits were. So here's Natasha. As you can see, she's quite the looker. Takes after her mom. Like I said, she's a teen, but she'll be aging up in a few days because she's about to hit the A grade. So here's her outfits. This is everyday. Here's formal. And we've got a couple different formal for her. We got athletic, sleep, her party, swimwear, hot weather, and cold weather. I kept a lot with this green theme because it just goes really, really well with red hair as well as black. That's why we have a lot of black in here as well. So, yep, this is Natasha, and for those of you interested, here's a little close-up of Clint. So, yeah, this is Clint. We might be keeping him around the house for a while. We'll have to see how he does with Natasha's first set of kids. But he does have speed cleaner and a homebody as his naturally given randomized traits. So those might lean in a little bit with helping keep the house in order and stuff. And I don't want Natasha to get overwhelmed right at the beginning with having 6 or 7 kids in the house. I want to try and keep it under 2 to start with. So leaving him in the house might help jumpstart the challenge a little more as well, since we'll have 3 of them. And Gemma and Fitz being elders, they have to go and go to the bathroom more often. They have to sleep more often, and that kind of takes time away from taking care of the kids. So maybe we'll leave Clint in the house for a while to try and help with that. But I do eventually want to kick him out because I love seeing the progression of the kids having their own families. I find that really interesting, seeing how they continue without me there. So Fitz and Gemma are the only ones that have stayed in the house their entire lives. Everybody else only stayed until the next set of kids aged up. So Fitz and Gemma, the reason I did that is because I kind of fell in love with them when I designed them. I don't design a lot of them, but if I know they're going to be in the house for a while, I do go in and design them because otherwise the clash of CC kind of irritates me a little bit. So when I designed them, I fell in love with their designs and I didn't really want them to leave. So it worked out in my favor. They were really good with the kids. They got really good traits that help out, so they just stayed in the household. So that's where the 100 Baby Challenge is now. I just wanted to give you guys an update since the matriarch was going to be switching in a few days. Because it's kind of an important milestone when the matriarch switches. So anyway, that's the 100 Baby Challenge at this point in time. We'll be back in a few days to give an update on Natasha's first set of babies.